Let me warn you again, this one's going to make you sick. Teenager near San Francisco nearly beaten to death because he was sticking up for a girl. This video, let's turn your gut. Let me set it up for you this way. You see the kid in the white hoodie? He's kind of being stalked there a little bit. That's Bryant Lee. He had just helped a girl who was getting punched in the face. So then the puncher calls his buddies in. Next thing you know, 6 kids start beating this kid ruthlessly. You can see one kid looks like he's holding him and choking him while other kids come up to punch and kick. This beating lasts 12 minutes as you see 6 cowards come up and do this. And afterward, I don't know if you see this, the punching there, that's the girl who's getting punched who was originally the original victim in all this. Some blind punches. I mean, these are just cowards and thugs we're dealing with. Bryant Lee in a serious condition. This is in the middle, right in the middle of a high school campus. How does this happen? Joining me now to talk about this, the chief spokesman for the Vallejo City Unified School District, Jason Hodge. Also with us by phone from the Vallejo Police Department, Lieutenant Abel Tenorio. Lieutenant, let's start with you. Did I miss anything with the story there? You have anything to add?
Yeah, there's a few things that are have come out in the light.
Okay.
Originally, the school student who intervened in the fight between the girl and this adult male that walked on campus was not the same individual that was beaten.
So you tell me some other kids jumped in to try and help her out, then left?
No. There was a group of student athletes standing by. They observed what had happened between the male and the female. One of the students went over and intervened to stop him. He then called his friends. When his friends showed up, a bunch of adult males showed up about 10 to 15 minutes later. They keyed on 2 guys, Lee and the other student. Lee took the worst of it. The other student was able to fight the attackers off, but Lee was beaten unconsciously by about 5 subjects. So Lee was just an innocent bystander. He did not intervene at all.
So who was okay, I don't want to get this straight here. Who's the one that makes the call for help? And wasn't the original call to help the girl?
No. So you have one subject named Young who had physically assaulted a female.
Okay, got it.
You have a student athlete that saw this and intervened on her behalf.
That's Bryant Lee.
No.
Okay.
That's another
student. Okay, I got you.
The Young at that point proceeded to make a phone call to get some help. About 10 to 15 minutes later, a vehicle full of subjects run towards a group of student athletes, one being student Lee and the other being the original subject that helped out the female.
I'm with you now.
But Lee took the beating.
Okay, I got you. Are these students at the school that came, the thugs that did the beatings?
No, these are adults. There was 2 of them were 26 years of age, and 2 of them were 18.
Okay. What are the charges they're facing?
One is charged with attempted murder, and the other 5 have been charged with assault with a deadly weapon and a gang enhancement.
Okay. We'll get to more of them in a minute. I want to get Jason Hodge in on this. Jason, you had to have been just horrified to see this going on your campus there.
Absolutely. This is not something we ever expected or anticipated could happen on a campus. You literally had adults that showed up on a campus right after school. They came during the time when our security is gone because kids are for the most part not there, and just had unfettered access to the kids, just start beating first a female, then Bryant Lee and other students. And so it was just a sad occasion and not anything we ever anticipated could have happened when you have adults doing something like this.
Yeah. By the way, we're taking your calls if you have comments, questions. 1-877-TEL-HLN. Jason, what security changes are you going to make so something like this doesn't happen again, or can you do anything different?
We absolutely are going to have to reassess what we do in the district. Like most public agencies in California, we have been cut left and right for probably about the last 4 years. And so things like security during the after-school hours for basketball practice and after-school programs, those are things that have gone out the window because we just don't have the money. But we have got to reassess what we do. We got to look for additional funding because clearly we can't have that window between 3:30 to 6 o'clock when we got programs going, when you got animals like this on the street that would show up and beat this kid unconscious.
Has this type of thing happened before?
In recent memory, I can't ever imagine anything like
Nothing
this
like
happening.
this, right. But
nothing that's so savage, such a savage attack.
Yeah. Okay, but you're right, though. After something like this, we got to make sure the kids are safe. Poor guy, Bryant Lee, is waiting for basketball practice, and now he's in a hospital, serious condition, fighting for his life. Let's get some calls in. Go ahead, Jason, real quick.
And then, I mean, when you look at that video, the fact that they're not only willing to beat him unconscious, but then the turn and the punches and the blows that they gave to that young female, that young lady was very brave because, as you can see in the midst of that fight, she and 3 other girls actually came and tried to get him off of Bryant. They then turned and gave her the same kind of beating.
No, it is. It's ruthless. It's savage. So, the shot to the girl we're about to see here is a blind left. There it is, a blind left hook.
Right.
It is animal. Lieutenant Tenorio, is that why the attempted murder charge for the one subject? What did that person do? And from what we're seeing here.
Well, we're going through the video pretty closely. My understanding at this point is that one of the subjects was actually stomping and kicking the head of Bryant Lee as he was down, and at some point was choking him. We believe that a charge of attempted murder at this point was valid.
Yeah, because I believe that's what we're seeing right here. Mr. Lee's being held down, looked like being choked by the man you're talking about, while others are coming up to take their shots as well. How about the girl? Was she injured in any way?
She sustained some minor injuries to her face, but nothing major.
Okay, let's get some calls in and see what the folks are saying. Eric in Florida. Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just want to make a comment about the beating. I think it's pretty sad when we get around to these days when people are just allowed onto school property with just free access. Back in the days, you weren't allowed on school property, during school hours unless you were a student.
Yeah, Jason, let's.
I mean, you had the cops there within no time, and I think we probably need to get back to doing that.
Well, let's pick up on that, Jason. We've talked about it, but what. You mentioned it. After school, kids are waiting for their sports programs or any extracurricular activities. They're vulnerable at this point. What are you going to do about it?
These guys were cowards.
Right.
They basically were able to exploit a window of time when they knew security wouldn't be there. There's no reason why these guys wanted to do this. They couldn't have came at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. We believe they deliberately waited until that window when they know most of the kids are gone, when they know security is not there, and they were able to exploit it and beat this young man for this went on for about 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're going to reassess what we do. We don't have a lot of funding, but we are going to close that window so that we do have supervision there at that time.
Yeah.
If I could just say one other thing, we did have administrators there at the time. Because they were in another part of the campus, they weren't even aware of what was happening until we were probably about 9 minutes into this event.
No.
By the time they got...
Come on, let's face it, that's not an administrator's job. That's a security. Someone who's trained to deal with that. That's what you need in that case. Let's get another call in. Max in Florida. Max, go ahead.
Oh, it's Max in Prescott Valley, Arizona.
Oh, sorry, Max.
Okay. Words don't kill. They just hurt in a moment, and moments are emotional. And the first person that steps up with the acts of violence is the last person that runs out of ideas. And that's what I want to say.
Well, thanks for some philosophy in on this as we're trying to figure this out. What we can do next. Lieutenant, I'll let you wrap this up. What can we do in this case, in another, I mean, there are people watching from all over the nation, how we can keep our campuses safe. Can you work with Jason Hodge and school officials to help them come up with a better security plan to close this window, as Jason's saying?
Well, the Vallejo Police Department has worked with the school district in providing some officers for a period of time now. We've had a contract with that. But like Jason said, we have issues with funding also and manpower shortages. Obviously, we'll already look at the situation again and see what we can do. But everyone is in a tough situation.
No, I hear you.
We'll do the best we can.
I hear you on that front, but it's like what price tag do we put on the safety of our kids, I think, is obviously the question I'm sure you're going to be wrestling with.